Chosen one, let me ask you something real. Have you ever looked at your life and thought, why has it been so hard? Why does it seem like you've always been the outsider, the misunderstood one, the target of attacks, setbacks, and betrayals? Why is it that your life feels more like a battlefield than a peaceful journey? If you've ever felt this, I need you to know something with every fiber of your being. This is not random. None of it is. This is divine preparation. This is Spirit's work. This is God's hand sculpting a vessel for something greater. And if you're watching this right now, then this message has found you right on time, in the middle of your season, at the very edge of a breakthrough you don't even see coming. This message is not just a video. This is your moment. This is Spirit placing a key in your hand, and only the chosen ones will recognize it. You're not here by chance. You didn't scroll here by mistake. There is something inside you that's been waiting, aching for this confirmation. You've been through the fire, through the silence, through the wilderness, and now heaven is saying, it's time. Everything you've been through was not meant to destroy you. It was designed to prepare you. Prepare you for a truth so powerful, it will change how you see your entire journey. This is what I call the $1,000,000 secret. And no, it's not about money. It's about value, your assignment, your divine worth. You've carried burdens others couldn't see. You've fought battles in silence. You've healed others while breaking on the inside. You've questioned your own path, your own mind, your own existence. But listen carefully. Those very trials have been the proof. They have shaped the armor on your spirit, forged your discernment, purified your energy. God was not punishing you. God was preparing a warrior, a guide, a light. And now the world is shifting. The spiritual realm is aligning, and your role, your true role, is beginning to emerge. So I'm speaking directly to your soul right now. Wake up, rise, receive what is yours. If you're feeling that fire inside, that little voice that's saying, this is for me, then say it loud. Drop 700 me 7 in the comments right now. Let the universe see that you're awake. Let the enemy see that you're still standing. Let other chosen ones know they're not alone. And if you haven't already, subscribe to Spirit Guide. Tap that bell and share this with someone you know was born for more. This message is not just for you. It's for the ones coming after you. You are the message. You are the proof. And you are being called for something massive, something sacred. What it really means to be a chosen one. To be a chosen one is not some glamorous title or spiritual trend. It's a soul contract. It's a divine calling wrapped in pain, wrapped in purpose, wrapped in layers of loneliness, trials, and revelations. Most people think being chosen by God means blessings will pour down easily, doors will open without knocking, and life will feel like a straight path to glory. But the truth is exactly the opposite. Being chosen means you were born to walk through what others couldn't survive, to carry a light in places most would run from, and to hold a frequency that disrupts the darkness without even trying. Chosen ones are not made in comfort. They are carved out in the midst of spiritual storms. They are refined in rejection, silence, and the deep internal work that the average soul avoids. You've always been different, haven't you? Even before you had language for it, you felt it. You noticed things others didn't. You sensed energies. You could walk into a room and feel the tension before anyone said a word. You could see lies behind smiles. You could hear pain beneath the laughter. You were tuned differently. And that wasn't a defect, that was design. Being a chosen one means your spirit is encoded with divine assignments. You weren't placed here to fit in. You were sent here to shift timelines, to break generational chains, to light a torch in a world that's drowning in shadows. And that responsibility's heavy. It's why your life has been harder. It's why relationships don't last. Why people turn on you. Why you often feel like no one understands your depth. It's because your journey is spiritual, not social. And most people are not built to walk where you are being led. You don't just hear God's voice. You feel it. In moments of silence, in moments of pain, in those sleepless nights when your soul cries, but your lips are sealed. That's when Spirit whispers, keep going. The world doesn't validate the chosen because their value can't be measured by earthly metrics. That's why you've been overlooked, underestimated, even abandoned. But the ones God hides are the ones he uses the most. Understand this. Being chosen is not about superiority. It's about service. It's about surrender. It's about carrying divine messages in a world that's tuned to noise. Your presence disrupts illusions. That's why the enemy noticed you early. That's why attacks came when you were young, before you even understood spiritual warfare. But you made it. And that survival alone is proof. Chosen one, don't compare your journey to anyone else's. You weren't built for the crowd. You were built for the call. That means your walk will look strange. Your timing will feel delayed. Your blessings will be custom fit. And when others question why you move the way you do, remember this. They don't hear what you do. They don't carry what you carry. You are here to remind the world that God still speaks. That Spirit still guides. That chosen doesn't mean perfect. It means prepared. So take a moment and breathe this in. Everything about you has purpose. Your sensitivity, your strength, your solitude, your scars. They all make sense now. This is what it means to be chosen. And this is why you had to go through it. The hidden curriculum of pain and rejection. Chosen one, let's tell the truth, many won't dare speak. What you've endured wasn't just suffering, it was sacred schooling. Pain wasn't your punishment. Rejection wasn't your curse. These were divine lessons written into the blueprint of your destiny. You see, God doesn't raise his warriors in public applause. He hides them in private agony. And that's why your life has been anything but easy. Every heartbreak, every betrayal, every door that slammed in your face, it was all part of the hidden curriculum. A spiritual syllabus meant to build a version of you strong enough to carry what's coming. Most people won't understand this. They think pain is something to escape. But the chosen ones were different. Pain is our classroom. Rejection is our teacher. Silence is where we learn the loudest truths. When they left you, it taught you how to stand. When they mocked you, it taught you how to listen deeper. When they broke your heart, it didn't destroy your spirit. It expanded it. God was pruning the people who couldn't carry your promise, removing the weights that would have drowned your mission. You weren't being punished. You were being positioned. Some of the deepest wounds came from people closest to you, family, friends, the ones you trusted. But that's exactly why it hurt so much, because it was supposed to. That pain was tailored to awaken you, to wake up the divine code inside you. It stripped you of illusions, burned away the need for validation, and forced you to rely only on the source. Every no you received was heaven rerouting you to the yes that was destined. And every detour was direction, whether you saw it or not. Do you remember the nights you cried in silence? The moments you felt invisible? That wasn't weakness. That was molding. Your spirit was being carved, shaped, and tested, not for survival, but for purpose. You had to learn who you were without applause. You had to discover the power of standing alone. Because when you're called to lead others into light, you have to first know how to walk through the dark. And you did. Rejection was redirection. The closed doors saved you. The broken relationships protected you. The abandonment pushed you into the arms of spirit. The pain made you pray. And the wilderness taught you how to hear God for yourself. Nobody explained this part of the journey, did they? Nobody told you that pain is how God teaches the chosen ones. But now you know. Now you see you were never being left behind. You were being elevated in disguise. So I ask you now, what if all of it had to happen? What if everything you went through was the exact thing that qualified you to rise? Look at yourself, still standing, still chosen, still here. That alone is proof you passed the test. And the reward? It's not just healing, it's revelation. It's knowing exactly who you are and why you were born. If this resonates in your soul, take a moment and drop 444 in the comments. Let spirit know you're awake. Let the universe know you've received the lesson. Let your fellow chosen ones know they are not alone. Because this isn't just your story, it's the sacred journey we all share. And the curriculum of pain? You've passed it. Now comes the crown. Isolation wasn't punishment, it was preparation. Chosen one, let's talk about the silence. The long seasons where you felt forgotten. The years where it seemed like everyone else was moving forward, building, celebrating, connecting, while you sat alone with your thoughts, your prayers, and your unanswered questions. You wondered what you did wrong, why doors wouldn't open, why you didn't fit in. You blamed yourself. But let me tell you now with full authority, that isolation wasn't a punishment. It was preparation. God hides what he's about to use. The Spirit doesn't promote what's still in training. And you were in training. While others were posting their highlight reels, you were being stripped, reshaped, and redefined in silence. And that's why it hurt. That's why you couldn't explain your journey to anyone, not even to the people closest to you, because what God was doing in you wasn't meant to be understood. It was meant to be experienced. In the silence, you found your real voice. In the isolation, you discovered the difference between people who love your presence and people who love your power. God removed distractions. He quieted the noise. He separated you from environments that kept you spiritually asleep. The wilderness may have looked like abandonment, but it was actually divine intimacy. It was heaven saying, let me show you who you are without them. Let me teach you how to move with me, not with the crowd. And I know it wasn't easy. The nights were long. The loneliness was thick. Sometimes you questioned your own worth. But if you had stayed in the comfort of the crowd, you would have missed the whisper of the Spirit. You would have ignored your assignment just to stay liked. But God couldn't let that happen because you weren't called to be common. You were set apart, the sacred, marked. And that kind of anointing requires isolation. The enemy tried to use your solitude to convince you that something was wrong with you, that no one cared, that you were forgotten. But God was saying, you're not being forgotten. You're being reserved, protected, covered. He was building your character in private so you could carry power in public. He was detoxing your spirit from fake love, shallow praise, and surface-level connections. Because where you're going, you can't take everything and everyone. Now that you're beginning to awaken, you realize the truth. That lonely season was one of the most divine periods of your life. It's where you stopped begging for access and started owning your identity. It's where you became your own sanctuary. And that is priceless, because now you walk differently. You don't need validation. You don't chase what's not aligned. You carry your peace like armor. That's what isolation gave you. So don't curse the solitude. Honor it. Thank it, because it prepared you for where you're heading. And trust me, what's coming next will make sense of everything. The people who left couldn't handle the glory that's about to fall on you. The ones who didn't understand weren't meant to walk this next chapter. And you're not bitter. You're built. You're ready. You're chosen. If this truth speaks to your soul, let it be known. Comment 333 to confirm that you're not confused anymore. You know now the silence was sacred, the isolation was holy, and the preparation is complete. Spiritual warfare. Why the enemy targeted you young. Chosen one. Have you ever stopped to ask why the attacks on your life began so early? Why you faced trauma before you even knew how to pray? Why you felt different, even as a child, more sensitive, more aware, more affected by energies others didn't even notice? That wasn't just life being unfair. That was spiritual warfare. That was the enemy trying to snuff out your light before it could rise. Because when a soul is chosen by God, the war begins at birth, sometimes even before. The enemy isn't omniscient, but he can sense power. He recognizes divine blueprints. He sees potential and purpose glowing from a soul the moment it enters the world. And when that soul carries a mission that threatens darkness, when that soul is marked to break chains, uplift others, shift atmospheres, that's when the war begins. You weren't targeted because you were weak. You were targeted because you were powerful. And hell knew it before you did. That's why the enemy came after your mind early. That's why confusion, fear, rejection, abuse, and abandonment found you so young. He tried to break you before you could wake up, tried to distort your self-worth, twist your identity, bury your gifts under shame and pain. The trauma wasn't random. The spiritual attacks were strategic, because if the enemy could keep you wounded, he could keep you distracted. And if you stayed distracted, you'd never step into your divine position. But what the enemy didn't expect was your resilience. What darkness didn't account for was the God inside you. Even in your lowest moments, Spirit was there. guiding, guarding, whispering in the silence. Keep going. Every time you felt alone, heaven was holding you. Every time you almost gave up, God reignited the fire inside. Because you are not just a survivor. You are a weapon forged in the fire. And that fire didn't burn you. It built you. Chosen one, understand this. You were never truly alone in the battle. The attacks were intense because your mission is massive. The early pain was proof of the enemy's fear. That's right. The enemy feared your awakening. He feared your authority. He feared that one day you would look in the mirror and finally see who you are. A spirit-led guide, a divine disruptor, a carrier of God's message. And now that day has come. Now you're remembering. Now you're seeing clearly. Now you're understanding that the spiritual warfare was not a sign of failure, it was a sign of favor. God allows his strongest soldiers to walk through the darkest valleys because they carry light that others need. You're not cursed, you're chosen. And every attack, every lie, every setback has only made you more dangerous to the kingdom of darkness. So if you've ever questioned why your childhood was heavy, why your heart carries old wounds, let this be your clarity. The enemy tried to break you because heaven plans to use you. And now your rise is inevitable. You are not who you were. You are who you were always meant to become. If you know this word is yours, drop 666 in the comments. Let the enemies see you're still standing. Let your fellow chosen ones know they're not alone in this war. You were targeted young because your purpose is ancient, and now it's time to walk in it, with power, with clarity, with God. The million-dollar secret God hid inside you. Chosen one, listen closely. There's something inside you, something divine, something ancient, something priceless. And for most of your life, you didn't even know it was there. That's how God designed it. Because the greatest treasures are never left out in the open. They are buried deep, hidden in plain sight, covered by layers of pain, doubt, and delay. So the enemy can't steal it, and the world can't misuse it. What you carry inside you is what I call the million-dollar secret. But it's not about money. It's about spiritual wealth, about divine purpose, about what God placed within you before you were ever formed in your mother's womb. You were born with a code in your spirit, a signature from the Most High. It's not loud or flashy. It's quiet, sacred, and sealed. That's why you've always felt different, why you never fully fit into this world, because this world wasn't designed to nurture what you carry. It couldn't understand it. It couldn't recognize it. So instead, it tried to reject you, minimize you, distract you. But even with all that resistance, the gift inside you remained untouched because it was never theirs to claim. It belongs to God, and God has been guarding it until now. All those years of struggle, they weren't delays. They were layers being peeled back. Every trial, every betrayal, every heartbreak was stripping away the false self so the true self could rise. You see, the real you, the chosen you, was hidden beneath survival mode, buried under fear, wrapped in silence. But Spirit has been working behind the scenes, awakening you, shaping you, preparing you to finally access what was hidden. The million-dollar secret isn't something you have to go searching for. It's who you are. It's what you've always been. You just forgot. What is this secret, you ask? It's your anointing, your spiritual authority, your divine assignment. It's the fact that you are not just here to exist. You are here to shift, to guide, to awaken others. You were born to be a spirit guide, to lead others into truth by the way you live, the energy you carry, and the love you give. This isn't just about having a platform or a title. It's about being a lighthouse in a dark world. It's about being a mirror for those who forgot their light. And now God is calling you to step fully into that. Chosen one. You don't need external validation anymore. The confirmation is already inside you. That restlessness you felt, that quiet pull, that sense that something big is coming, that's the activation of your assignment. You're not waiting on permission. You're not waiting on anyone to crown you. Heaven already did. What's inside you is rare. It's not meant to be common. That's why your path has been uncommon. You weren't meant to blend in. You were meant to stand out for God's glory. Now here's the truth most don't want to face. Not everyone will celebrate this part of you. When you start walking in divine confidence, old connections will fall away. When your light shines, it exposes shadows. But don't shrink. Don't apologize. Don't dim what God has ordained. Because the same people who once doubted you will one day witness your rise, not for ego, but for evidence. Evidence that God hides his best in broken vessels, that the rejected stone becomes the cornerstone. If you feel this fire in your soul, take a moment right now and drop 444 in the comments. Let it be a declaration that you're ready to access what's been hidden. Let it be a sign to the universe that your time has come. No more delay, no more doubt, no more fear. You've been chosen, you've been sealed. And now the secret is no longer a secret, it's a revelation. Walk in it, speak from it, live through it, because the world needs what's inside you. And now it's your time. You were built for legacy, not popularity. Chosen one. You. You were never meant to chase applause. You were never called to blend in, follow trends, or water down your truth just to be accepted. From the beginning, your path was different because your purpose was different. While others were being groomed for attention, you were being forged for impact. You were built for legacy, not popularity. And that's why the world has often misunderstood you. You've probably asked yourself, why don't they see me? Why do people distance themselves the moment I become real, raw, or spiritually awake? It's because your presence disrupts illusions. Your energy speaks truth even when you're silent. And let's be real, truth isn't always popular. In a world chasing comfort, your vibration carries conviction. In a culture that rewards superficial smiles, you bring sacred fire. That's not something everyone can handle. And it's not something you were ever meant to shrink for. The calling on your life isn't about being liked. It's about being remembered. When your time on this earth ends, what will matter is not how many followers you had or how many people clapped for you. What will matter is who you lifted, who you healed, who you awakened by simply being obedient to your soul's mission. That's legacy. That's divine impact. That's the mark of someone chosen by God. Sometimes the road of legacy looks lonely. It requires discipline when others are distracted. It demands faith when results don't show up right away. It means saying no to temporary pleasure in order to preserve permanent alignment. That's why your journey has felt uphill. You've been carrying something heavy, something eternal. And even when no one saw it, God did. Spirit watched every quiet sacrifice, every hidden tear, every step you took in faith. When logic said quit, you weren't built to be a trend. You're not here to perform. You're here to plant seeds that will grow long after you're gone. That's why you speak the way you do, why your eyes carry depth, why your spirit feels ancient. You came with memory. You came with mission. You came with the responsibility to live a life that echoes. So release the need to be liked. Let go of the chase for validation. Those who are meant to walk with you will feel your truth, not just hear your words. And those who can't handle your presence were never meant to witness your purpose. You were chosen to build something bigger than yourself, and legacy takes time, but it lasts forever. Stand firm, chosen one. Walk boldly and remember, popularity fades, but purpose remains. Divine timing, why it had to take this long. Chosen one, if you've ever sat in silence, wondering why your breakthrough hasn't come yet, why the blessings seem to skip over you, why the doors you've prayed for stayed shut, then this message is for you. Let me speak to your spirit. It didn't happen yet because it wasn't supposed to. Everything you've been waiting for is tied to divine timing. And when you're chosen by God, time isn't measured by the world's clock. It's measured by heaven's alignment. You see, the delay was never a denial. It was a delay in your awareness, not in your destiny. God had to prepare you before he positioned you. You had to be stripped of what was temporary so you could carry what's eternal. You had to lose what wasn't aligned so you could hold what's been divinely assigned. If the blessing came too early, it would have crushed you. If the people arrived too soon, they would have distracted you. So instead, Spirit placed you in a sacred holding pattern, not to harm you, but to sharpen you. Chosen one, look back at your life and see the pattern. Every time you thought it was over, something shifted. Every time you lost something or someone, you grew stronger. That's not coincidence. That's orchestration. Heaven has been designing a timeline that's not rushed, not reactive, but perfectly tailored to your soul's evolution. Divine timing doesn't just deliver the promise, it develops the person. You are not the same version of yourself who first asked for the breakthrough. You've evolved, and now you're ready to carry it. With grace, not ego. This long road you've walked, it's built endurance in you. It's taught you to trust without evidence, to believe without sight, to walk when your legs were trembling. That's the kind of faith God needed to see. That's the kind of heart that can handle divine responsibility. Because your mission is bigger than you. It's not just about what you receive, it's about what you're called to release into the world. So now the timing is aligning. The pieces are falling into place. The people who left had to go. The detours had to happen. The prayers had to be delayed so your spirit could be ready to receive. And now you are ready. Spirit knows. Heaven sees. And the call you've been hearing in your soul is not random. It's the sound of divine timing catching up with divine purpose. Hold your head high, chosen one. Trust the pace of your path. Everything that's meant for you is not just coming, it's arriving at the exact moment that will multiply your impact. And when it does, you'll understand why it had to take this long. Because anything less wouldn't have been worthy of your soul. Your calling, the shift has begun, signs you're being activated. Chosen one, something is stirring inside you, isn't it? You feel different, and not in a way that can be explained logically. You sense it in your sleep, in your silence, even in your sorrow. That's not confusion. That's activation. The shift has begun. And if you're feeling this message in your soul more than your mind, then it means you're in the middle of your awakening. You're not imagining it. You're not going crazy. You're being spiritually activated. And once the process begins, there's no going back. You've probably noticed that the things which once satisfied you no longer do. The people you used to vibe with suddenly feel foreign. The places you used to frequent feel heavy. This is the spirit guiding you out of alignment with what no longer serves your evolution. It's not personal, it's spiritual. Your frequency is rising, and as it rises, it naturally repels what's not meant for your next level. That's why some friendships are crumbling, relationships are ending, and even your career may feel like it's crumbling beneath your feet. It's not falling apart. It's falling into place. Another sign of activation is the intensity of your emotions. One moment, you feel deeply connected to the divine. The next, you're overwhelmed by grief or uncertainty. These aren't mood swings. These are spiritual downloads being processed by your physical vessel. Your body, mind, and soul are recalibrating to hold higher truth. You're becoming more intuitive, more discerning. You pick up on energies you used to ignore. You hear between words. You feel truth in silence. That's activation. Have you been waking up in the middle of the night, feeling like something or someone is trying to speak to you? That's not just insomnia. That's spirit pulling you into communion. The veil is thinner for you now. Your dreams are more vivid. Your instincts sharper. Your reactions slower. Because you've started to observe, not just react. You're moving like someone who knows there's more going on than meets the eye, because there is. You may also notice repeating numbers, strange coincidences, random strangers telling you things that feel like messages, animals showing up repeatedly, nature responding to your presence. The universe is syncing with your vibration, aligning with your inner light. You're not chasing signs anymore. They're chasing you because your aura is activated. Your calling is rising. And the world, whether it knows it or not, is beginning to feel you. Chosen one, this shift is sacred. Don't run from it. Don't try to explain it to people who aren't ready. Some things are meant to be protected, not proven. You're not here to be understood. You're here to be aligned. Keep trusting the process. Keep shedding the old. Keep allowing the fire to burn away anything that's not connected to your divine identity. If you know this resonates with what you've been feeling lately, if your soul is screaming yes, even if your mind can't make sense of it, drop 999 in the comments. That number represents endings and beginnings, the close of your old life and the opening of your divine path. Let the universe witness your agreement. Let spirit know you are ready, because the shift has begun, and you are not who you were. You are who you were always meant to become. The activation is real, and it's happening now. Your role as a spirit guide for others, chosen one now that you've awakened, the path ahead isn't just about your healing, it's about who you are called to lead. You didn't go through all that darkness just to come out shining for yourself. You are a spirit guide, a vessel of divine light in a world that's drowning in confusion. And whether you realize it or not, people are watching you. Not just what you say, but how you live, how you walk, how you endure. Your energy is the sermon. Your presence is the message. You don't need a title. You don't need a platform. You don't need to convince anyone. A true spirit guide doesn't push, they align. And in that alignment, others feel safe to awaken. Your role isn't to save everyone. It's to stand in your truth so others remember theirs. You'll notice that people will start opening up to you for no reason. Strangers will be drawn to you. Loved ones will seek your advice, your comfort, your clarity. It's not because you have all the answers, but because your energy carries peace. Your aura reflects God's presence. Understand this. Being a spirit guide doesn't mean being perfect. It means being real, honest, open to the divine flow. You've lived enough to know that appearances mean nothing and authenticity is everything. Your scars are sacred. Your wounds have wisdom. Your journey has qualified you. And now Spirit will use your story to guide others into their healing. So don't doubt yourself. Don't shrink back when people recognize your light. You're not stealing attention. You're fulfilling a role. And the more you accept it, the more the universe will open paths you never imagined. This is your time to lead, not from ego, but from essence. You are not just chosen to awaken, you are chosen to guide. Keep walking, keep shining, keep showing others what it means to rise from ashes, because your presence alone is a compass, and someone somewhere will find their way because you chose not to give up. Final activation, step into the role you were born for. Chosen one, it is over. The time for questioning, doubting, hiding, shrinking, it's done. Spirit has been preparing you, testing you, sharpening you. And now the final activation has arrived. This is the moment where you stop rehearsing who you are and start living it. You've been through the fire. You've walked through the wilderness. You've been broken open, emptied out, stripped of everything false. And still you remained. That's not survival. That's spiritual certification. That's divine evidence that you are ready to step into the role you were born for. This isn't about starting something new. This is about remembering what's always been inside you. The healer, the guide, the voice, the energy that shifts rooms, softens hearts, awakens souls. It's all in you. You don't need to look outside anymore. You don't need permission. Heaven already validated you. What you've survived, most wouldn't have. And that alone makes you worthy. That alone makes you chosen. Chosen one, this next level isn't going to ask for more suffering. It's going to ask for obedience, surrender, trust. It's going to ask you to move even when you're scared, to speak even when your voice shakes, to stand even when it would be easier to sit in silence. Because this isn't just about you anymore. Your rise is tied to others. Your light will activate those around you. The gifts in you will unlock gifts in others. That's why the enemy fought you so hard, because your life is a divine key. Now it's time to stop waiting for the perfect moment. The moment is now. It's always been now. And everything in your life has been building to this threshold. Step through it. Own it. Walk with the awareness that you are not average. You are not random. You were called. You were crafted. You were refined in secret for a mission that will now unfold in the open. Let go of the old version of you, the one who doubted, apologized, second-guessed. That version was only a shell. The real you is emerging now, fearless and full of fire. Spirit didn't put you through all that just to make you wise. You were made to be a witness of what is possible, of what divine preparation truly looks like. If your soul is vibrating with this truth, if you feel the shift in your bones, then say it boldly in the comments. I'm ready. Declare it. Confirm it. Let Spirit, the angels, the ancestors, and the universe hear you loud and clear. Because the final activation has arrived. You are no longer becoming. You already are. Now walk like it, speak like it, live like it. Closing message. God's message for the chosen one. Chosen one, if you've made it this far, then hear this as clearly as your spirit can receive it. This is God's message for you. Not just a word of encouragement, but a divine transmission, sealed in heaven and delivered through time to find you, right here, right now. You. You have not been forgotten. You have not been overlooked. Every second of silence, every unanswered prayer, every painful moment was seen, was heard, and was counted. And now God is saying you were never forsaken. You were being formed. There's something sacred about your journey, something rare. You were never meant to be like everyone else. That feeling of being out of place, that lingering sense that you didn't belong, it wasn't your imagination. It was divine separation. God pulled you apart to pull you up. You weren't rejected because you lacked something. You were rejected because you carried something others couldn't understand. Your presence disturbed their comfort. Your soul radiated a truth that couldn't be ignored. So instead, they turned their backs. But God never did. Even in your darkest hours, when your knees hit the floor and your voice couldn't find the words to pray, God was right there listening, holding, whispering, just a little longer. Don't give up. I'm still writing your story. And now that story is reaching its turning point. The chapter of pain is closing. The chapter of purpose is opening. The wilderness was real, but it wasn't permanent. It was preparation. God wants you to know that the struggles you faced weren't punishments. They were invitations. Invitations into deeper strength, greater discernment, unshakable faith. You've been trained in the unseen, sharpened by the Spirit. You don't just believe anymore. You feel, you walk in it. And that's exactly what makes you dangerous to the darkness and precious to the divine. You carry light. You carry frequency. You carry the voice of those who haven't found theirs yet. And now it's time to speak, to lead, to live out loud. Your calling is not just personal. It's prophetic. Every tear you've cried has watered a seed of greatness. Every betrayal has positioned you for divine connection. And every moment you thought you were being broken was actually God rebuilding you. Not for the world stage, but for a divine one. You are not just a survivor of your past. You are a carrier of promise, a bearer of breakthrough, a living reminder that God still moves, still speaks, and still chooses. So walk with your head high, not with arrogance, but with divine assurance. You don't have to force anything. You don't have to prove yourself. Those who are meant to see you will. Those who are meant to walk with you will find you. All you have to do now is keep going, keep trusting, keep rising. You've been chosen not for comfort, but for impact. And now the time has come to make that impact real. Chosen one, comment 777 below if this message felt like it was written for you. Let heaven see your agreement. Let the spiritual realm know you're awake. Let your future hear you claim it. And if you haven't yet, subscribe to Spirit Guide, tap the bell, and share this message with someone else who's been waiting for a word. You never know whose life it might save. May your steps be ordered. May your voice be clear. May your enemies fall silent, and your path be lit with divine clarity. You are not who you were. You are who you were born to be. Go forth now, not as a seeker, but as a guide. Not as a victim, but as a vessel. Your time has come. Walk in it.